Cheers everyone, and afternoon, I hope you're all okay. So I wanted to take a bit of time out today away from the video lessons that we've been going through to talk about one of my favourite subjects, and that is drum books. I'm very geeky over drum books. I own an absolute shelf load of them. Obviously I can't go through them all. I just wanted to pick out my top 5. Some of these will be, classics that some of you may and hopefully will have heard of. A couple of these are slightly lesser known books because I feel that it's good to cover a broad spectrum and maybe get some ideas out there on books that you may not have come across yet. So why books are so great. I mean, one thing for me personally is I always remember that yes, I'm a player, I'm a teacher, but also I'm still a student. Yeah, I'm still learning, and that is what is so exciting about playing a musical instrument is you can play it for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, even longer, and there's still things to learn. And there's so many books out there that every little book that you can pick up, right, even the worst ones, will still somewhere in there that may have a little nugget of information in there. So I don't think there's necessarily any bad drum books. I think there are obviously better ones than others, but as I say, you can get influenced from lots of these books. I find for me they're really useful, if I'm maybe in a little bit of a rut, or I'm not sure what I should be practicing, or I've lost a little bit of direction. Books kind of really just pull me out. They can influence me, they can inspire me, they can give me some good advice on where to go. So anyway, today we don't need to get a practice pad, or we don't need to get sticks. There's going to be no playing, just lots of me waffling on. So enjoy these, and yeah, let me know in the comments below other books that that you want, and speak to you in a bit. So, book number 1, Stick Control for the Snare Drummer by George Lawrence Stone. This is one that I'll be amazed if most of you don't own already. This is the go-to book for all the greats. Everyone has used this. This was written way back in 1935, and as I say, everyone has studied from this. I believe this is at least my 3rd copy of this that I've owned, because it literally lives with me. The great thing about this book is, I can use it in my studio, I can use it when I'm on the kit. I always chuck it in my bag when I go on tour. I always use this for like warm-up exercises, so like before I play a show, I always just get a pad out and work through these. What this is mainly kind of working on is obviously stick control, but going through various different, I'll hold this up so you can see, various different combination patterns of stickings, singles, double, paradiddles, and all the various different kind of variations around there. This is absolutely brilliant for like hand technique and coordination. As it progresses through the book, we go through sextuplets, demi-semiquavers, there's pressed rolls, there's everything that you really need in this to really work on your sticking. So yeah, this is one that everyone should own, and if you don't, buy it now. Moving on to book 2. This is Buddy Rich's modern interpretation of snare drum rudiments. Again, everyone watching this should know who Buddy Rich is. Again, if you haven't heard of Buddy Rich for some bizarre reason, go straight on YouTube now and Google him and watch some videos, because yeah, obviously he is one of the greats of all time. And this is a absolutely brilliant book. Again, mainly based upon rudiments on the snare drum, a bit like the stick control book, but taking it a little bit further. Again, it's great for hand technique, but this one also goes through all different note values, basic rudiments. It goes through your rolls, your roughs, all different kind of combination patterns. Again, it's all it's all fairly straightforward in how it's written. You know, that's just a rough example of the sort of thing in there. So yeah, this is another absolutely brilliant book that you should all have. Okay then, so moving on to book number 3. This is The New Breed by Gary Chester. Again, if you haven't seen this book before, I'll be pretty amazed. This is an absolute brilliant one. This was shown to me when I was at Drumtech, actually. This was, again, written way back in 1985. Lots and lots and lots of greats have used this. I think I remember reading about Dave Weckl using this to begin with. And yeah, then again, when I was at Drumtech, this was kind of talked about a lot. This is quite different than the first two. This is more coordination and reading exercises incorporating all 4 limbs. So Gary Chester, he talks a lot about splitting the kit into half and working on almost symmetry, so getting your right side and your left side very kind of symmetrical. With this is all like 4-part limb coordination stuff going on, and it's all kind of centered around these systems. So for example, you'll be using 3 limbs to play a set pattern, and then you'll be going through all the reading exercises to then, on the 4th limb, to add to that pattern. It's a brilliant book, and I must admit, I've tried so many times to complete this book, but there's absolutely hundreds of thousands of combination exercises on this. So I don't know, if anyone has ever finished this and played every single exercise ever, yeah, let me know, because I'd be very, very jealous. I'll just show you a little bit about what it looks like. These, for example, on this page, this is some of the systems. This is what you'll be playing on 3 of your limbs. And then you move to the reading exercises, which are really great reading exercises anyway, which is this kind of thing. This is, yeah, absolutely brilliant book. So, yeah, The New Breed by Gary Chester. And then we move on to the great Benny Greb, The Language of Drumming book. Yeah, again, Benny Greb is an absolute master, absolutely brilliant player. You get some really beautiful sounds out of his kit, and quite unique sounds. He's influencing, you know, another generation really. He's absolutely superb. So yeah, check Benny Greb out. Again, this is a brilliant book. He kind of talks about the language of drumming, and again, there's sort of systems involved to help you build up different vocabulary. Now, you know, I'll give you an example of the sort of thing in here. You know, you have, let me find a good one, something like this, which is going through all different placements of accents, and those placements can then be moved on to different parts of the kit, so they'll be orchestrated a little bit differently. So there's loads of stuff in here, from grooves, fill-ins, just warm-up exercises on the pad as well. So this is great for all levels as well. I'd say beginners can get stuff out of this, and real kind of advanced players can get stuff out of this. And it does come with a CD with some backing tracks, and also Benny has released a couple of DVDs which are definitely worth checking out. So yeah, I'd say this is book number 4. The final one, bit of a curveball, this one. You know, I thought there's some other absolutely well-known books out there which a lot of people have used. You know, like Syncopation with Ted Reed and stuff like that. So what's the other one? I did write down a couple actually. There's the other George Lawrence Stone, Accents and Rebounds. Yeah, Jim Chapin. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of ones which came on the nearly list. But yeah, as I said, I wanted to bring in like a slightly newer book, and maybe a book that people haven't come across before. And this is one. This is the biggest book I think I've ever owned. It is, I mean, it is ridiculous. It's called The Power of Practice, and this is done by a guy called Andy Sturgis, who is a lovely guy from here in the UK. Really great drummer, really good educator. You should check out his Instagram and his Facebook and all of his social media stuff, because he's a brilliant guy. Yeah, I've met him a couple of times and he's great. But yeah, this came out 2017 now, so this has been out a few years. I first heard about this actually, the great Jimmy Chamberlin, who is the drummer for the Smashing Pumpkins, who is probably, well, he's up there as one of my all-time sort of biggest influences. He was being interviewed in River magazine, and he mentioned about using this Power of Practice book in his studio for just warm-up exercises. And I thought, well, you know, if Jimmy Chamberlin is saying it's good, then I'm definitely getting it, and it has been absolutely brilliant. I mean, this is more based for jazz drummers. Now, that is not to say that if you don't like jazz or if you don't want to play jazz, don't get it, because ultimately, like with anything, you know, doesn't matter ultimately what style of music you want to play. You can get anything, you can learn anything from other styles, and in fact you must try and get other things from other styles. So this is a really good one, even if you're interested in rock or metal or samba or whatever. Have a look at this one. It is huge. You could spend an absolute lifetime on this, and in fact in the foreword, Andy basically says you need to spend a lifetime on this. And again, what it basically is, I'll hold this up, but there is a ton of exercises, mostly going through all the different kind of jazz phrasings. So most of these are in that kind of swing time, and it goes on, and it goes on, and it goes on. There's some fill-ins in here, some linear kind of stuff towards the end as well, and some different kind of sextuplet sticking patterns at the back. I'd say it is a huge book, and yeah, that will last you an absolute lifetime. Okay, I'd say this is kind of more geared towards the intermediate and advanced drummers. That's not to say beginners won't be able to get anything from that, but yeah, it's quite a hefty book, that one. So yeah, that's my number 5. So yeah, I just wanted to sort of finish with just saying, you know, thanks for watching. If you have any comments, please post them below. Please subscribe to my channel. As I said, this wasn't a complete comprehensive list. I just wanted to pick 5 of my favourites out. In fact, looking through them again, it's definitely inspired me to get practicing literally right now. So I'm going to press stop, drink my tea, get on my kit, and have a great week. And I'll see you next Friday. Take care. Bye.